Tonight, Iran and Western powers are in the midst of another round of talks, the most important to date on Iran's nuclear program. And in a moment, I go one-on-one with Iran's chief nuclear negotiator, its Foreign Minister Javad Zarif. This all follows the June election of the relatively moderate President Hassan Rouhani, who's ushered in a new era of cooperation and hope that the nuclear crisis can be resolved amid crippling sanctions eased. But as ever, the road is fraught and it's tense. The United States Congress is talking of ratcheting up sanctions even as these talks are underway. While senior U.S. officials at the negotiations in Geneva tell us that sanctions relief is on the table if Iranians agree to restrict their nuclear program. They said it requires Tehran to move first and quickly, perhaps even suspending enrichment for a period. Iran has said enrichment is a red line, and yet the Foreign Minister, Zarif, also says that he could see an agreement being worked out this week from their side. Let's go directly to Geneva now and to Foreign Minister Javad Zarif. Welcome to the program. Thanks for joining me.
Good evening. It's good to be with you.
Let me ask you first to comment on what your deputy, the Deputy Foreign Minister, has told journalists today, that Iran is ready to cap some of its nuclear activities in return for some selective sanctions relief. What can you tell me about that?
Well, we're here in Geneva in order to reach accommodation so that while Iran's right to nuclear technology, including enrichment, is respected and Iran continues to exercise that right, we address some of the immediate concerns of 5+1 and also agree on objectives as well as an end game that we can work in order to achieve a comprehensive solution. So it's a framework that we have agreed upon. Now we know what the ingredients should be. We have discussed them in the last 3-4 weeks, and I think our colleagues are ready to start drafting. I hope that by tomorrow morning we can start serious work in order to prepare some sort of a joint statement that would address these three important elements. That is, a common objective for all 7 of us, the 5+1 and Iran, an end game that we all try to reach within a limited period of time, hopefully in less than a year, and a series of actions that the two sides have taken reciprocally in order to build confidence and address their most immediate concerns. And I believe it is possible to reach an understanding or an agreement before we close these negotiations tomorrow evening.
Well, that's a huge amount of progress and hope that you're expressing from your side. Can you please give me some details about what you are prepared to cap, if that is correct, as your Deputy Foreign Minister has said? What activities are you prepared to cap? What steps are you prepared to take right now?
Well, Christiane, we are at a very sensitive stage of negotiations, and it is best if these negotiations are done at the negotiating table rather than on live television. But I can tell you that we are prepared to address some of the most immediate concerns that have been raised, and then we expect reciprocally for our concerns to be met by the P5+1, particularly United States and the European Union.
Well, let me ask you specifically, are you prepared to, let's say, address enrichment of 20%? Are you specifically prepared, as the chief U.S. nuclear negotiator has suggested, that there could be a suspension of Iran's program for maybe a period of some 6 months while these negotiations continue and are fully completed?
There won't be a suspension of our enrichment program in its entirety, but we can deal with various issues. Various issues are on the table. Some of the issues that you mentioned are on the table. They're parts of this negotiations, and we hope that we can reach an accommodation where the concerns of all sides are met.
You say that you hope tomorrow you'll be able to draft some kind of a statement. So does that mean the P5+1 have accepted what you've put on the table?
And nobody has put anything on the table. Issues are on the table. We have dealt with the concerns of each side. Everybody knows where the concerns are, and now we need to start drafting some sort of an agreement in a joint fashion. This is not one side presenting a text to the other side, but the two sides sitting down together and preparing a text that both sides can live with. And I believe the ingredients are there. It takes quite a bit of effort and quite a bit of good faith and political will. I know that we have it on our side, and I hope that we can expect the same from the other side, and in that fashion and in that spirit we can move forward.
You know, obviously there's a huge amount of skepticism, not just from Israel, but from the Congress of the United States. I spoke to the very powerful chairman of the U.S. Senate Foreign Relations Committee yesterday, Senator Menendez. This is what he told me about what it would take to lift sanctions, even some sanctions on Iran. Listen to this.
Why is it impossible to simply accept, get Iran to accept that it's suspend? It's not rolling back its 20% or 3.5% enrichment. It's not reducing its centrifuges. Why can you not simply suspend in order to have the negotiation that you want? That would be a good faith effort. And in return, I and others would say what the House of Representatives passed 400 to 20, which is a new round of sanctions, we should wait. But at least Iran should suspend. So a good faith effort by Iran would be suspend, and we will suspend.
What is your reaction to that?
Well, Iran suspended its entire enrichment program from 2003 to 2005. So we've tested that, and it didn't produce positive results. We're not going to test that again. But we are prepared to address the immediate concerns, and I believe people should stop trying to impose a solution. We've got to be creative, we've got to be innovative, and deal with situations as on the basis of realities, and not on the basis of illusions. And I believe at the end of the day, everybody will be happy with a deal that can be achieved today. Otherwise, 1 year down the road, we'll be wishing for the same deal that could be achieved today, and the opportunity was missed. There is a window of opportunity now that has been created by the Iranian people through their election of President Rouhani, and that opportunity needs to be seized. And I believe people should accept the realities, should learn a lesson from what has been achieved in the past 8 to 10 years, when this type of attitude, that is pressure on the Iranian people, has been waged, and it has produced no results. Of course, there has been economic hardship, but in fact, instead of 160 centrifuges that were spinning 10 years ago or 8 years ago, today we have 19,000 centrifuges. So that is what sanctions and pressures and intimidation has brought those people who are continuing to advocating that type of behavior. I think that is a failed policy. It needs to be changed, and tomorrow we have a chance to change it and reverse that trend. Otherwise, we would engage in a lose-lose situation, which we have been engaged in for the past 8 to 10 years.
Foreign Minister Javad Zarif, thank you for joining me from Geneva.